Our final storyteller, can you come up, Daniel? We would love to have you join us today. The man who turned water into hope.
So the very first thing you need to know about Colombia is that despite what my friends from Kenya would say, Colombia actually has the best coffee in the world. And that's a fact. So if you come across these guys in the room, they try to tell you otherwise, don't believe them. No, but in seriousness, probably what you know about Colombia is down to three things. So a regular or a normal American might know about Colombia because of, well, if you are into pop music, you might have heard about Shakira. And many of you probably will ask me later, but I can assure you right now, I cannot move my hips like Shakira does. But as many Colombians would say, Shakira is an even bigger star than Taylor Swift. Okay. I suppose the second aspect that you might know about Colombia is down to a very famous, I didn't know how popular it was, a TV series called Modern Family, where a lady from Colombia starts named Sofia Vergara. But if you happen to have a Netflix subscription, you might have heard or even watched a TV series called Narcos about a country, a tiny country in South America called Colombia, where powerful drug lords started to build empires. And you might be forgiven to think that those stories are pretty cool. I mean, guys who pretty much started empires from nothing and they amassed large amounts of money. And that sounds great, but you know what it means for people like me, normal Colombians? It means that never in my life I have experienced in my country a single day of peace. The story of Colombia is a story of a beautiful country that is filled with blood, violence, and never-ending cycles of poverty. And that means that even when you are Colombian, one of the very first things you remember is stories that are connected with the violence. When I was 4 years old, I remember, and this is one of my first memories ever, I remember being in a pool, playing with my friends and a couple of cousins. And I remember my parents were ahead preparing the meal we were going to eat afterwards. And suddenly I remember them screaming and running towards us to get us out of the pool. And as you can imagine, a kid, like your heart starts to pound and to race. And I couldn't understand why they were running and shouting, "Get out of the pool." And the reason was because they heard there was a car bomb in the vicinities. And we all need to leave because our life were in danger. That's the story of my country. A beautiful country that is filled with blood and violence. And I suppose as you grow up in Colombia, you face two options. You can either look away, pretend nothing happens, and live your life somehow, or you have a second option, and that is to do something about it. And that's why more than 10 years ago, a group of friends and me decided to start Fundación Dulos, a small NGO that pretended to bring hope to the poorest parts in Colombia, particularly in the countryside where the violence is felt the most. So when we started to go to the countryside and connect with the communities, we understood first and foremost that we needed to connect with the people. It wasn't just about resources or methodologies or trainings you can bring, but actually connecting with people and asking them, what is your hope for the future? What do you dream that it happens in your community? And whenever we went to the countryside, there was a single word that was uttered by most of the people. No matter the communities we were into, it was the same thing. Daniel, necesitamos agua limpia. Every community we went to in the countryside usually said, Daniel, we need clean water. So we started to make connections, and eventually we found an amazing machine called the M100 machine developed by WaterStep. And when we started to take those machines into the communities, friends, let me tell you, it was a fiesta. It was a party. When we arrived with the machines and people knew they were finally, for the first time in history, going to get safe water, it was a complete party. It was an absolute party. People would even dance on the streets. People will be jumping. Kids will be playing. And you also can overhear what people say when we are installing and training. And some lady said once something that really marked my heart. And she said, we're going to finally have quality water like the people in the city. We are as important as them. That's what water means to many of the communities in my country. But even when you go to communities and you make such a great impact and you transform lives, let me tell you that sometimes I went back home, I turned the TV on, I could watch the news, and I could see same violence, same corruption, same history being repeated over and over again. And I would go to my kids' room to watch them sleep at night. I couldn't help to think they are going to experience the same thing I have experienced my whole life. So even when we can impact the lives of some, there's really no hope for the future. And I thought so until I met my friend Alex. My friend Alex lives in a community called Chocó. It's the poorest of the poor in Colombia. And there are two things you need to know about Chocó. It's a place where water is both a blessing and a curse. They are blessed with abundant sources of water, but whenever they drink most of that water, they get sick and they die. It's untreated water, and it makes them sick. The second thing you need to know about Chocó is that it's home of the largest population of indigenous, the nativos, the indigenous people that have inhabited Colombia for centuries. And also is the home of the largest concentration of African descendants that once were brought into South America. And you might be forgiven for thinking, well, these guys probably partner with each other and they have good relationship, but let me tell you, that's not the case. They actually hate each other. They don't talk to each other. They don't connect with each other. So knowing all those things, I went to Chocó to visit my friend Alex in a 15-hour trip that involved plane, car, and boat. So after 15 minutes traveling, I finally arrived to Alex's place, Novita in Chocó. And of course, it's a typical Chocoan place. It's beautiful, filled with water, kids playing on the streets, very poor, but very happy people. So when I started to walk with Alex, I noticed that he was showing me different parts of his hometown, and he was even showing me where the machine could be installed to purify water and all that. But I noticed there was this part of the town that he didn't took me to. And I asked him, Alex, how come we didn't go to this part of the village? And he said, Daniel, it's because we cannot go there. That's where the nativos live. That's where the indigenous live, and we don't connect with each other. But you know what? I noticed that Alex, from time to time, was looking all the time to this place. And I kept that fact in the back of my mind, but I didn't understand why he was looking at that place so often. Well, we finished the training. They received the M100. They started the process. But when I was leaving, Alex said to me, Daniel, when you come back, I'm going to have a surprise for you. I returned 3 months later, and I was kind of curious what that surprise was going to be. And when I finally arrived, 15 hours, another 15-hour trip. So I finally arrived to Alex's place. He said, Daniel, I have a surprise for you. And we started to walk in the community, and we started to walk towards that forbidden area for him. And I was kind of puzzled. Alex, are you sure we're going the right way? Because you told me you didn't cross this way. And he said, yeah, that's the surprise I had for you. So when we finally crossed to that area in the community, the indigenous people were there. And the chief of the village, of that sector, started to walk towards Alex. And to my surprise, he actually greeted and hugged Alex. And I was surprised. I didn't know, I didn't understand what was happening. So Alex had to explain to me, and he said, Daniel, after you left, I took the M100 machine. I crossed to that part of the town, and I told them, guys, I'm here to clean your water. And that opened up the faces. They started to smile, and they started to welcome me. So I've been coming here every single week to clean their water, and now we're friends. And now we are sitting with each other, planning what to do next, because we realize we have more things in common than the things that divide us. And friends, when Alex was explaining that to me, it's like something clicked in my mind. I finally understand the power of what Alex was doing. He was not just changing individuals. He was daring to cross structures. He was daring to change the past. He was hoping for a better future. He was daring to go where no one else had ever dared to cross. He was actually transforming beyond the structures and to think what could be done. In my own story, if you ask me now, what's my biggest dream? What's my purpose? What's my mission in life? It's pretty easy to tell. My mission in life and my purpose in life now is to find more Alexes wherever they are in Colombia. My purpose now and my dream is to find those Alexes wherever they are. People who are interested not only transforming individuals, but are daring to cross and change structure. And even maybe at some point, Colombia actually has hope for the future. Thank you.